Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It is Natho here. Good to be back, guys. Good to see you again. Today we are giving the Star Wars, The Last Jedi review. Now, note, guys, before we get into this, there's going to be there's going to be a little bit of spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, make sure you do before you check this out. Also, so yeah, that's the warning, guys. We're gonna give some spoilers during this review. Uh, you know, tune out now if you guys haven't seen the movie, and if you have, then this is the review. So I've seen a couple of other reviews, but I've got a little bit of a different take than what other people have said. Before I get into this, I've seen a couple of different reviews about people saying that about Rey and Rey's instant instant awakening with the Force, and how she's just quickly adapted to the knowledge of the Force, let's say, and how she's had equal battles with Kylo Ren, who has been trained, um, even by Luke. So that's not the point I was getting at. I mean, it is definitely a logical theory. She has quickly adapted to the Force, but that's not so much it. I mean, Star Wars is full of all this magical kind of sci-fi, and I can accept that she is growing quickly with the Force. I can accept that, but um, when you find out in the Last Jedi that Kylo Ren tells Rey that her parents are uh, just a bunch of nobodies, and they were the actual ones that flew off in the ship in The Force Awakens. So if that's true, and Rey really didn't come from a strong background with the Force, then yeah, that theory is right. Then she really shouldn't have uh, adapted the powers as quickly as she did, at least without being trained properly. And but if that's not true, and she actually is has a connection with the Force somehow, then I'll accept it. So that's just the start. And then she came one on one with Snoke in The Last Jedi, and she was easily outmatched. So I wonder. I don't know how they're going to go with Rey's background story, and where she could have got her powers from. But when she was against Snoke, she didn't have a chance. When she was with Kylo, easily, definitely, uh, they did have a fair fight. So, it really is going to determine in the next movie if she does have powerful origins, or if she's just a nobody and she just conveniently gets in the upper hand in these situations. So that's that. That is what I think about the whole Rey situation. Like I said, I'm not too fussed if she's going to get this power, if she has a good story to it, not just a bunch of loser parents. All right. So here, next point, and then with the Last Jedi, another part that I wasn't really too happy with. It felt like they were just trapped in this spaceship for a majority of the movie. At least a good 55% of the movie was pretty much the Rebel Alliance inside of their little spaceship, and pretty much fighting off the First Order fleet ships. And yeah, it was just a massive amount of time trapped in this little spaceship. Um, and it's just and we hardly got to see any other planets. I think we saw the last planet with the salt on the ground. Wasn't actually much of a sight, much scenery and stuff like that. But and then we went to Luke's little hideaway island, and not much there. Couple of rocks and a bit of water, but yeah, it's just not too much on the movie. Like I said, majority of it was in this spaceship, and when they did actually go somewhere, it wasn't really, you know, it didn't have the expectations for Star Wars. And then we get into Snoke's death. So you've pretty much got this character. You've builded him up through the Force Awakens, and as just the supreme. You know, he is Supreme Snoke, but just the the main enemy for the next trilogy, and it was really built up. But I found it really disappointing. The way he died, how quickly it was, how easily it was. I mean, this guy was pretty much throwing Rey around the room like she was nothing, and then Kylo does the old lightsaber trick that Obi-Wan pulled off in the first one. I mean, they don't really seem to learn from that. But anyways, yeah, so it's just a really quick death, sudden, random, kind of ridiculous. I mean, this guy was supposed to have a lot more to him. And then you've got to kind of settle with Kylo now as the main villain of the trilogy, which it just doesn't work for me too much. He's not trained enough. He's not the most favorite character on the show. So yeah, the whole Snoke thing very disappointing, and it can't. I felt misled. Um, Next point I had was the creatures. Um, it felt like at one point I was watching fucking Disney's Snow Princess or whatever it's called. You know, just the creatures in that. You get that little Polog fin that becomes friends with Chewie, and you know, a real penguiny kind of looking fin. And then you get those ice critters, ice creatures that come off this salt kind of planet, I think it was. They kind of look like some creature out of Frozen. Uh, Not very sci-fi like, uh, very Disney orientated and childish like. I mean, you look at some of the other creatures that they get. You know, that big fin that fights off Luke Skywalker in the Return of the Jedi. You know, those weird, big alien-looking creatures and stuff. I mean, you get some pretty cool sci-fi creatures from different planets and stuff. This is probably the stupidest, or with that little porg penguin fin that I've seen of a Star Wars creation. It's going from sci-fi into a Disney Frozen, and not a big fan of the critters. And you know, I've actually tried to force myself to get a good opinion on this movie at the end of it. But man, it's I guess this is how the original trilogy Star Wars fans felt when they saw Phantom Menace and stuff like that. But I think this is like a tip of the iceberg, too much over the top, and not the Star Warsy kind of feel that the first two had. I mean, at least the second trilogy, uh, it felt Star Wars. So it really goes to now, where do we go from here with the next Star Wars movie? They've killed off so many characters in The Last Jedi. I mean, Phasma's gone, which pretty much kind of makes Finn's whole. I mean, what's he going to do now? He's kind of pointless. He doesn't really fly. Phasma's gone. Uh, so yeah, you know, where do they go from there? Finn, Poe. Well, I guess he's just gonna still fly ships, and Rey. I could see Rey and Kylo eventually turning good. I don't know how they're gonna go with this next one. Of course, they're gonna have their own idea, but that's it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and I hope some of you guys agree with what I think of it. Yeah, not the best Star Wars movie. Uh, I'm kind of falling out with the new trilogy of Star Wars. Thanks for watching this, guys. Like and subscribe. We're going to be getting into some more. Sorry I've been a bit absent lately. We're going to do a lot more on this channel, different ideas, some new stuff. I'm still going to do the best of 2017 review, which will probably be in the next couple of days, so don't miss that. And then some more new stuff. Check out the Milo video if you haven't seen it, of our tour there, me and my brother Beta. And more stuff like that, hopefully. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. That is the review. Let me guys know what you think. And I will see you guys soon.